Hey guys, it's KiiNGKhyy here, and today we're going to be talking about how to become a king like Barou. Now, a king is something that really could be underestimated and talked about in many ways. When it comes to Barou, I feel like his king's mentality is so high and superficial to himself that it makes him who he is. His ego is very high and superstitical. You can tell that he's just someone who just sticks to his code. So these are some ways that we're going to talk about how to become king. So first is the confidence and self-belief. You need to be able to cultivate a strong belief in yourself and your abilities. You need to recognize your worth and avoid self-doubt. Challenge negative self-talk and focus on your accomplishments and potential. Lack of confidence will be the biggest reason in a lot of people's lives. We're just not able to be confident in ourselves to be able to just go out and do what we want to do. When it comes to Barou, I love the fact that he's always confident in his abilities. No matter what happens, he will take that last shot for himself and he will die by his own rules. It's something that is really installed into himself. He's not someone with a lack of confidence, and he knows what he wants. Barou's goals for himself is to just always be the best that he can. He wants to be able to become the best striker in the world and do what it takes to win. This is something we've seen from him over and over and over again. He has a belief that he is the king and that everyone else around him is side characters on the field. He alone is the one that should rule over as the king and take over for himself. In real life, we could also have these type of self-beliefs where we're the main actor and no one else can get in our way. This is something we can practice and work on, something that can be installed into us as well. Barou has always been a top guy since he was a kid. He was always the best and he never really had a challenge. Even when coming to bluelock, he eventually was able to meet people that he felt were better than him and then still have his confidence to be able to win no matter what. He has this type of self-belief where he can challenge anyone, and this is something that we can also gain. You can adapt this confidence and self-belief by just doing things that will make you more confident. Start doing more tasks on yourself and working and creating on yourself to create more confidence. Do things you're scared to do, things that you feel like you're not able to do. And then once you get past them, you'll be able to become more confident. And you just keep working and working, and then you'll eventually become the king that you need to be. Next is resilience and adaptability. Kings face challenges, but they navigate through them with resilience. They develop the ability to bounce back from setbacks and adapt to changing circumstances. Focus on solutions rather than dwelling on problems. This was huge for Barou because in the second selection, after facing Asagi and stuff, he had to face a challenge. He was no longer the main actor on the field and he needed to find a new way to be able to adapt. Now the second selection was like a war zone and there was many things going on, but in this they were just able to change back and have Barou become the new Joker and the villain of the team and steal the spotlight back. With this resilience and adaptability, Barou was able to become a new kind of king, one that didn't just overlook everyone around him, one that was able to adapt and see what he could do. When becoming a king, you're gonna face challenges. There's gonna be problems and things in your life that'll happen, and they'll try to steer you off course. The biggest thing is being able to adapt. Being able to adapt to the overcoming challenges and problems that exist, because they're always gonna come to you. No matter what happens, you will face more challenges and problems that you probably won't want to face in the future. But you have to be able to find solutions and figure out what you can do to change yourself rather than just always dwelling on the problems that persist. I think this is a big thing in your life, to be able to just have that type of adaptability and resilience. You need to always bounce back. You cannot let those losses get to you. You can also not let the wins get to you. You have to keep going no matter what. Keep going in a straight line. Don't always figure out the setbacks and then go off track and do all this other stuff. Just go forward and let it come to you. Next, we have courage and taking risks. Kings are not afraid to take calculated risks to achieve their goals. Step out of your comfort zone, embrace challenges, and be willing to take bold actions. Learning to manage and mitigate risks is crucial. Now, when it comes to risk taking, this is a huge step. Taking risks is something that either can make you very fearful or very stupid, honestly. When it comes to risks, you just have to be able to take them. Kings take these bold actions and they live with the consequences. We've seen this many times from Barou. He dies with his goals. He dies with his resolve. He's not willing to always change until later. But still, the courage to even take these risks is something that not a lot of people have. You need that kind of mindset to be a king. Kings do this over and over and over. They're not afraid to take these risks. And when it comes to achieving your goals, you have to take risks. Being in comfort all the time will not help you. It's something that you just have to be able to step out of and embrace them. Embrace the challenges, embrace the actions, Embrace the times that you don't want to do things and just go with it. That's the only way you'll be able to truly evolve. When it comes to these risks, you just have to do them. Nothing else will stop you. It's all in your head. Your mindset is what's stopping you. And these risks will help you. We talked earlier about confidence and self-belief. Well, that also comes into play for taking risks and having the courage to do so. Will you sit back and just stay there, or will you take these risks and become more courageous? Will you allow everyone else to pass you by as they continue to evolve, or will you adapt as well and also change? For so long, if you're in your comfort zone, then that will just be where you stay at. You won't be able to move anywhere else. Kings don't do that though. They take more. They always go for more. They take the bold actions that no one else wants to take. They know what the fear and the risk is. They still don't care anyway. They keep going and taking these bold actions and live with the consequences. You should do the same too. Next, we have decisiveness. Kings make tough decisions with clarity and confidence. Practice making decisions promptly and effectively. Consider the available information and weigh the pros and cons and commit to your choices. Now, this is kind of the same thing from earlier, but you have to commit to your choices. Be decisive in everything you do, in the words you say, in the things you do, in your actions and your habits. Don't make silly, clumsy mistakes. Kings are the ones that make those decisions. They don't stutter on their words. They don't do things that other people would do. They have full, clear confidence in themselves to get it done no matter what. This type of decisiveness is what makes them king. To become this king in real life, you just have to be able to simplify your decision making and be able to go for the path. In Bluelock, they talk about it a lot. Noah talks about it, how you need to streamline your thought process. Go for the clear path ahead. Everything else is just background noise. Don't allow these outside factors to get in your way. Be decisive in your decision making and go for the goal. Don't have these other things be in your way. You need to be able to make these decisions with your confidence. And it all takes practice. It's not something that you get right away, but you can still always work towards it. Practice making decisions. Do it effectively, do it promptly. And then look at the pros and cons. Figure out what's good and what's not good. Make your decisions and then live with it. That's what it truly means to become king. Having these decisive actions and these tough decisions that are hard to make. We've seen Barou make these kind of decisions now in the recent chapters where he decides he didn't like what was going on with the Ubers, so he decided to just destroy it all. It was that one tough choice that ended up making him score a goal. It's the same way in real life. Sometimes that scared choice you're not willing to make will be the one that breaks you. And Barou knows it full well that he needed something more. He needed to spare, and he needed to devour to be able to win. This type of strategy with comfort zone and non-risk taking is not what he wants in the Uber system. He is someone that wants to be more than that, and that's what he's doing now. Now, you also need to put yourself above others. Now, I'm not saying just be egotistical and put everyone down below you, but you need to have that kind of delusional ego-ness, that self-deluded confidence that makes you feel that you're better than others. Now, when you put yourself above others, it needs to be real though. You need to have something about you that makes you above. And you be able to live with that and have that type of confidence above everyone else. When you look around, you want to see yourself as a king that stands out around peasants. Not the one who's in this crowd as well with the peasants. Being a king is someone who stands above everyone. It's something that you could put yourself above. Have yourself as a pedestal, someone who's better. That type of confidence and ego is what will help you. I feel like you are who you think you are. So if you think you're a king, then simply become a king. If you think you're a peasant and lower, then be a peasant. Your mind is what's limiting you. Don't allow anything else to get in your way. Putting yourself above others is something we've seen Barou do plenty of times. And he has a right to do so if he feels that way. If anyone doesn't agree with him, they'll simply come to them as well and put them above him. And this is how the kings clash. That type of confidence though is what allows Barou to have his self-absolute way of living. It's a self-installed type of rule set in itself to know that I am what I am, and no one else will change that. Putting yourself above others is something straightforward, but also not. Having that type of mentality can be good and bad. But as kings, it's something they have to do. They have to remember, I'm different from the others. I'm not the same. So if you do that and keep going, you'll truly become king. Now remember that developing a king's mentality is a continuous journey that requires dedication, self-awareness, and consistent effort. It's about becoming the best version of yourself and positively influencing the world around you. As a king, you have to be able to influence the world. It can't just be something around yourself. But you also are going to need a lot of dedication. You need to be able to willing to live for this. You might not be able to have a king's mentality in 5 days. It might take 5 years. But it's also something you just have to do with dedication and working. Also, self-awareness is very important. You need to assess yourself all the time. Asking yourself, what am I doing? Where am I trying to go? What journey will this take me to? You need to keep thinking. Keep assessing yourself. Keep looking into yourself, seeing what problems you face, what you're good at, what you're bad at. And just keep constantly evolving and working on it. We talked about adapting earlier. You need to always adapt. And then it takes consistent effort. You can't be giving up on yourself. You have to keep going, giving a consistent effort and working on becoming the best version of yourself. Do all these things and then eventually influence the world around you. Be able to help your friends, your family, and become the king and help them. Next, embrace failure and learn from mistakes. Kings don't shy away from failure. Instead, they view it as a stepping stone to growth. Embrace failure as an opportunity to learn, adapt, and improve. Analyze your mistakes, extract valuable lessons, and use them to refine your approach. Failure is so important on the path to becoming king. It's something you just need. It's something that's in your life that you will go through. Now, what you do with that despair and that failure to move on is what really makes or breaks you. Barou went through that despair in his second selection, and he was able to come away with it and change his life. He realized he couldn't always be the king he was before. He needed to adapt and learn from his mistakes. He himself realized that his style of play wasn't working all the time and he needed to change it. Failure is not always a bad thing. It'll help you to grow. You might not like it in that moment, but these are all just part of your character development. Embracing failure is a time to just learn more about yourself, learn what to do next time. So then that way when it happens again, you know what to do. You'll just constantly be improving. All the problems that come your way, you'll know what to do next time they come your way. You won't have any more worries anymore because you have adapted to them. Just analyze your mistakes. See what you did wrong and figure out what to do to fix them. There's nothing wrong with that. Extract these lessons. Use them. Refine your approach. Come in as a king that knows how to adapt to everything. That takes over whenever he needs to. And just adapts and does what he needs to do to fully become the newest king. The world is constantly evolving, and kings are adaptable and innovative in their approach. Embrace change, stay open to new ideas, and continuously seek innovative solutions to challenges. A willingness to evolve sets you apart as a forward-thinking leader. Nowadays, the ability to think is not always there. With the world constantly evolving, you just always have to adapt to it. You could be yesterday's king, but then today's loser. It always happens. Embrace that change. Be willing to be open to new ideas. Don't always stick to your old habits, because they might not work in the future. Barou was able to do this and change his mindset, working for Ubers and changing his philosophy. But then he eventually went back to his old philosophy within the Uber strategy, taking over the king and having people work in his way. This type of willingness to evolve is something that sets him apart. He realized what wasn't working and was decisive and was able to make a new way. He became the forward-thinking leader. He didn't need to rely on Snuffy anymore. He was able to do what he had to do. And that's something that's very important. Remember, developing a king's mentality is a deeply personal journey, and there's no one-size-fits-all approach. It involves continuous self-improvement, introspection, and a commitment to becoming the best version of yourself. As you embrace these qualities and integrate them into your life, you'll gradually cultivate the confidence and leadership mindset associated with the king's mentality. Well, this is all I have for you guys. Hopefully you're able to learn a lot more from Barou and how to develop a king's mentality just in time for real life. Well, I thank you guys for watching the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be back in the next one. Peace.